Hey everyone, thanks for joining us on Sharky Waters Wednesday Night Dive here on Wednesday nights every day or every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Tonight, joining us in the house, keeping us in line and on time, and actually a little behind the wires with Tor working on new arrangements. These guys are like always trying different logistics back there. But Eric the Clock Doctor with Tor, working hard from a long day. Thanks for coming in, man. And Deborah Gross, the lovely Deborah Gross here with her special cheesecake. What kind of cheesecake was that?
Bailey's chocolate.
Bailey's chocolate for a special occasion. Forrest in the house. We saw you on the live stream. You may recognize him from shows such as live stream on Railbirds from WBCA tournament. Scott Stubbles, how'd you do?
Yeah, 5th place.
5th place, nice work. And then, we always have like a tough adjustment trying to keep up with like the common current events and affairs and then the popularity of the people of what's going on who's going to be on the show. So we have like a super special opportunity because of like the current affairs that we have our pro Shark Attack commentator Cassandra Bryant here on her birthday. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about having our guest here, James DeVee, the WBCA Elite Bracket Champion, newest member of the 700 Club in the Fargo. Man, congratulations. That's super strong. I played a lot earlier today, and then I took off some time, and we like got the show set up, and I saw you warming up, and I was like a little bit thinking maybe I shouldn't watch him warm up. Maybe I should just like not bother and talk to him or whatever. But I'm ready to go. So we're going to do the same thing we usually do on the Wednesday night dives here. We've got our 30-minute open swim where Eric's going to flip the timer. We're going to shoot the shit and shoot some questions to James while we hang out and talk story about pool and about the love of the game. Everybody in the chat rooms, thanks for joining us. Thanks for the shares. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for all of the following and the support that you do in what we do. And then a special shout out to Sandro Menzel's photography. That was like some hot controversy. I sniped a photo off of your Facebook page without properly sharing it off of his page. So if you're a pool fan and you like nice close-up shots, great portraits of your pool player friends and family, take a look at his page and you'll see a lot of great work there. So again, big apologies to that. Eric, if you want to flip the timer, we're going to get going on that. And then after the 30-minute swim, we're going to do the Shark Attack where I take you on in a race to 7. You showed us this drill. You were saying you can pull this off about 1 out of 5 times or so, give or take, if you're in stroke. No one's going to like hold you to feet to the fire or something like that. But
no, it's a good drill to practice. And
we're going numerical order. You can't touch any other ball.
Or you got to start over.
Or you got to start over. Got it. I also want to take another second to thank Sean Lewis for letting me use his cue.
Oh, it's Sean's, huh? Okay.
Yeah,
right.
And I know that you, I was saying before, last we played, you were playing with the maple shaft, and you've got some carbon fiber there. What are you working with?
It's the Revo, it's the new Predator Black Q, and then just had a Revo shaft for about 6 months. And when I first got it, I thought it was the greatest thing in the world for 2 or 3 days. Then I put it down and hated it. And I kept missing these shots. Picked it up a week later, played with it for another day or two, hated it again after that. Then finally, 2 weeks later, I picked it up and I've never put it back down. Now I'm dead in love with it.
Yeah. I would have liked to have stayed closer in, but
that's the first shot
hard.
Now
let me ask you, since you're here, are you taking this shot and heading here, or are you heading over here?
No, I'm going underneath the 8, in between the 7. Like pocket speed it, go to the rail, come out middle table, maybe even 2 rails and back out.
Forward this way?
No, just straight at it, like straight rail to rail.
Yeah. And then coming out into the center here?
Yeah.
All right.
That's close.
Yeah. Well, I know I'm also like, this is probably my second week shooting with a carbon fiber shaft.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting pretty used to it myself, but there's been a lot of shots that I've pulled off and been like, whoa, hey, that was like way easier than I thought.
I've never cut better in my life. I've always been good at cutting. Obviously, you always want to cut before a bank, but I swear to God, these things cut. That's the number one thing I like about them the best. I cut effortlessly with them. It's amazing.
You're playing with that in Lincoln City?
Yeah. For about 6 months, it's all I've been using now.
Speaking of that, actually, Joe Town on the stream here is wondering, James, what's your next tournament?
I'm playing at the White Diamond in New Orleans on November 9th. It's not a big, it's a $40 tournament with like $1,000 added, but I've heard it's the biggest Calcutta in the country. They'll get anywhere from 50 to 100,000 just in Calcutta money.
That's
so,
insane.
yeah, I've heard from a bunch of people that have been there before. So, I mean, there's going to be tons of top pros, and it's going to be super tough. But, you know, hopefully no one down there is watching this. Maybe I can sneak in for real little money. But even if I do, I still got to beat way more champions that we're in Lincoln City, right? So it's going to be tough as hell. But I'm just going down there to try to better my game, which is the number one goal.
Yeah, we get my mic down. We can, feel free to, take it easy out here a little bit. That maybe people do catch wind, buy you for cheap.
Yeah.
Always nice to find an excuse to go down to New Orleans, too.
Yeah, I'm going to see my buddy Barry Emerson, who lives in Texas now. I grew up with him here in Seattle. We taught each other how to play pool when we were about 10 or 11, and it's only pretty much one of my only childhood friends I've ever stayed in contact with my whole life. And he was a phenomenal player. I mean, he still is an awesome player, but he has a family kind of later in life and a business, so he doesn't have time to play pool like I do now. But
what's his business?
It's actually like yours. I mean, buy, sell tables, refelt, but it's huge down there. And he'll drive like cross country, buy a bunch of tables, restore them, and then he'll do a full restoration. We'll pretend we didn't see that wiggle.
No, I hit it.
No, but
it's a game of ethics and morality too. So I'm gonna go ahead and call myself out on that one.
Oh, so yeah, the pool's supposed to be 100 times bigger in Texas down there. I guess that's what I hear. Everything's bigger in Texas, they say. But
well, I grew up in Texas. I'm gonna take a second to give a shout out to the Houston Astros who are playing in Game 7 tonight.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
It's been a super exciting World Series for anybody who's following that, and yeah, totally. So
Game 7.
I've obviously got my pony in that fight, or my dog in that fight, and I come from like old school, like Jeff Bagwell days.
I remember him.
Name drop the names of like my era. To date myself there, but they were saying that the baseball matchup was pretty strong this year between those guys.
There are some amazing players on the Astros and the Nationals, and going to Game 7 here, this is going to be quite a World Series.
After starting down 0-2.
Yeah, that was an incredible
most teams
pullback.
are fold up and close shop after when they start like that.
Speaking of that, so you come back, you win the WBCA Elite Bracket against Lake McKay, double dipping from the B side. How far were you going into the A side before you had to?
I played him for the point.
Yeah.
And he beat me at 9-5, I believe. He played really, really strong. I mean, he played almost perfect, and I couldn't make balls on the break. I was making some errors. I don't remember much of the match, but Sherry Ross, who runs the stream on there, just posted my videos. I think it was either this morning or yesterday, she told me. And so, because they only, YouTube only allows like 12 hours, so they said it was on air. So I want to go back and watch it, because some of it's kind of a blur. And but yeah, I remember he beat me up pretty good on the point match, and he was breaking great. I was scratching, or I would not make a ball almost every time. If I did, I was pushing out. So that was rough. You can't do that against those kind of players.
Yeah. Speaking of, let's see how these kind of players do this. Well, what kind of if you'll allow us to dive into the mind of that, what's that like? I mean, it's got to be exhausting, right?
Oh, those tournaments?
Knowing he's played like 4 or 5 matches to even get to the point, right?
Yeah.
Or to get to the finals.
Yeah, I had a real
10 ball, races to?
Raced to 9 this
9.
year. It was 11 last year. For some reason, they shortened it up.
That's
2
gotta be
games.
like an hour, 45 minutes, 2-hour matches.
Right.
So you're looking at, easy math says like 8 hours of pool before you even get to the finals.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so you're looking at playing 2 more matches. You
on the
gotta beat
day
them
of
twice.
the last match, I only had to play. I finished late at night. I beat Mike Deichmann for to get third on the winner's side, and that was the match where I started off super bad. I was behind the entire match, and Mikey was playing super strong. He just beat Stan Tarango, and so he started off pumped up. Obviously, I've beaten that guy once out of 7 or 8 times. That guy's almost impossible to beat. But Mikey beat him, and then I started off in the hole, playing bad, making all kinds of errors, and somehow I got it to Hill, and I pushed
Somehow,
out.
like in the same way, you just kind of lose memory of that.
Well, no, I mean, believe me, it was a struggle. I mean, I was missing early, and he was capitalizing, and then towards the end, he missed a ball or 2 he shouldn't have missed. Could have closed me out, but it was Hill, I break, and I have to push out, though. I got the 1 ball hanging in the jaws.
Put it up there.
Like, it was pretty sick. It was like this, right around like there. I can't remember where exactly the cue ball was, but I pushed out. There was no way you can kick at the 1 ball. I push out. It was over here somewhere. I push out to about right here, and I have the Marty Carey jump cue, where almost I can't jump that with a normal jump cue. I push. He's looking at it. You couldn't kick this way. You couldn't kick that way.
Like some
there was
stuff
balls
here,
everywhere.
There's some stuff here.
Yeah, it was a messed up shot.
Probably
And
like here or something.
I did the old Marty Carey just and jump it and make it and proceed to run the match. Hill. So that was like the best game I played that whole match, and it happened to be the most crucial game, luckily for me.
Yeah, that's the one that counts, right?
Yeah, so I win that match, and then so I'm done for the day, and then the next day I don't have to play again until I'm playing for 3rd place. I had to wait until the loser, the guy coming from the loser side to get 3rd, so which was Jason Coatman. And so I only had to play 3 matches basically the very last day, but was still a grind. It was still 6-7 hours of pool.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
that's
anyway.
exhausting for sure. So I'm saying, in your mentality, how do you maintain through that? There's so many ups and downs throughout an 8-hour window of anything.
Oh, it can be pretty taxing. I mean, like, I don't know. You just got to keep focused and just take one match at a time, and one game at a time, and just grind. It's a grind to pull out any type of win in a little weekly tournament or big tournament. You got to be focused every match, and luckily in the finals, I was just able to catch a gear on Lake, and he missed a couple balls that he wasn't missing the first time, and I was still missing, but I was getting out a lot, and was breaking good, and being able to just get that first shot after the break, which is being able to either push out to a safe or just having control. The first shot after the break is so crucial against 2 players of equal caliber that are good or that could ruin you with 1 shot. So you just have to kind of take it and hope for the best. I got some rolls here and there, and
Of course.
but you gotta play good and get a little lucky as well.
Yeah.
But
Well, let's see the drill that sharpens you up.
all right. And after that, you just roll in a lot of balls. You can go with 3 rails a lot, but I got this all backwards too. 3's supposed to be on this side.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got similar speed there, and I kept thinking maybe I should. You can soft roll that too.
A lot of times when I first started doing it, a lot of times I'd always set up for like the 3 rail, but I find it's just easier if you trust the table. If the table's rolling good, then you can just roll balls in and just,
do that. Try again. Set it up one more time. and we'll throw some balls out and warm up.
Yeah.
You play on the 9-foot up north.
Yeah,
9-foot
9 foot for the
diamond,
last.
pro pockets.
Yeah, just regular cut. They're like 4 1/4, I believe. But I haven't touched. I have a 7-foot diamond that I haven't touched. I got frustrated coming back from the U.S. Open in the last. I went to a 10-ball and 8-ball. It was the same 2 tournaments in the same place at Griff's
We
a few
met
months
just
back.
before that.
Okay.
Then you got the 9-foot table up.
Oh no, we met right before the first U.S. Open was the big one at Mandalay Bay. That
The
was
9-ball, right.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
9-ball,
right.
and then
You're right.
I got knocked out right away in that. I didn't play well at all. I wasn't playing. Like I said, I had only played on a 9 for about 2 weeks, in which
Yeah.
it's a little different when you're going up to go versus going down. So,
Yeah.
so after that, I got frustrated. I came home. I played a bit, and then a few months later was the 8-ball and 10-ball. I went down there again, and I played decent. I was in pretty medium stroke, a little better, but I had to play like Skylar Woodward my very first match, and you know, one of the best in the world, top
Absolutely.
3, 4 guys in the world. But I lost 9-5, and I played decent,
Tough.
but I didn't miss hardly any balls. But I wasn't getting shape. I wasn't staying in control on 9. So when I came home, I didn't touch my 7-footer for about 3 straight months, not one single shot. And then I only played on that 9-footer, and so now I'm feeling pretty comfortable on a 9-footer, but
Yeah.
I still got work to do. I mean,
And then obviously feeling comfortable on the 7-footers. The BCA stuff's all done on the 7-foot
yeah, that's like
diamonds out there.
I for about a week before I went to Lincoln City, I started hitting balls again on my 7-footer, and just to kind of shorten up those angles and get used to that. But now our house just sold, so I had to loan instead of putting my stable in storage, I loaned it to a friend of mine, Brent Duncan, and so now he's got control of it. But now I'm only, like I said, every day, morning, noon, or night, I'm playing on a 9-footer and trying to. So if I'm going to try and compete with some of those top guys in the world, I better
Better get
be
used to it.
used to those 9-footers.
Yeah. Well, I hope that table's treating you right, man.
Yeah, I'm loving that. I wish I would have got that a long time ago. I'd have been far better off at this point.
I may not have been lucky enough to be the guy to meet you putting it together if that was the case, but
Yeah.
I believe everything in line or in time in its own, in its own way. It's part of the patience of playing and
Yeah, pool's a grind, man. I mean, and it's so mental. I mean, there's so many good players nowadays. Oh, see, I didn't trust slow rolling it.
yeah.
Now I got a super hard shot
Get out of
here.
your way.
But when you do this drill for a while, when all of a sudden you're playing a normal pool, all of a sudden balls will be frozen on the rail, and you really get used to them.
Right.
But anyway,
Your shot. So, have you been to New Orleans?
never been to New Orleans.
I'll warn you, man. It's a small town for a gentleman your size.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They got real small venues around there. They show pictures of the French district and stuff like that, but the way cameras and cinematography and editing all work and stuff, you get there and it's like,
I thought it was bigger.
yeah, you could like throw away something, a beer bottle on one side of the street onto the other side of the street with like a subtle lean and a
Jeez.
toss. It's like real tight parameters, and
I guess-
one car barely fits through.
We're in.
Bourbon Street.
I think White Diamond is in Lafayette, which is about 2 hours from like the main part where everybody wants to see in New Orleans.
Of course.
I do want to just take a little visit down there and see,
Yeah.
but and they're playing on 7-foot valley tables for that big tournament. I'm surprised, which, man, everybody plays better on a 7, especially with, they're probably gaping hole,
Yeah.
pockets on a valley, 7-footer. Not like a diamonds are keep you a little bit honest, on a diamond, but on a valley table, we'll see what happens
Yeah.
with all those monsters that are going to be there.
Where's that jump cue you were talking about?
Okay.
Let's see one of those. I'm curious about that, but I'm also thinking in my head because I've Sean got me with this setup, and it's got a extension here that I'm working on the mechanics of me being taller and having a better fundamentals through the extra length of the cue and being able to stay down lower without it kind of messing up the angles of my wrists back here.
Yeah, I've tried extension
You ever
once.
done any of that?
I mean, only for like, I've tried it once or twice just to, I mean, only hit a few balls with it, and it just seemed funny to me. I mean, being a taller guy, I mean, people always said, oh, you should be using a bigger cue, and I've always used a standard 58 millimeter cue, or 58 inch cue, and actually my old Cognoscenti cue that I used to use was 57 inches, and, you know, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think you need a taller cue for just because you're tall, but
Yeah. Well, you heard it from him first.
so I'm still like not 100. When I pulled this out down Lake City, I hadn't used it in like a month, but you don't have to on a normal jump cue, being a tall guy, right? I've always jumped like this down below.
Yeah.
But these are meant for like air bridge jumps, and you're aiming like almost at the top of the ball. So it's really different.
Wow.
I mean, you can jump balls. Marty Carey, who makes it, will jump like credit card
See
distance.
that, Eric?
Like I'm not quite that, you know, used to it yet, but you can get over even closer and closer. And
Yeah, I'm gonna be dangerous once I get one of those.
oops, and once in a while I'll do that, right?
Yeah,
I
of
mean,
course.
But they don't take chalk. It's like you can have
all
like
hand to me.
you don't even need chalk. You can just seriously just get right up
That'll
over
clear
it.
a ball too.
These things, I'm telling you, it was $170 for this thing. Marty
Really?
Carey, like, it paid for itself, you
Go
know,
up to the camera there. Marty
20
Carey.
times over
Marty
in
Carey jump
one
cues.
tournament. Oh, you got one right up top. Cool.
Yeah,
I
that
just
thing's
Facebook
cool.
friended him the other day just to, he hadn't responded yet, but I wanted to write him a little message and thank him. I've met him a few times in person. I saw him out in Super Billiards Expo in Pennsylvania, and I just happened to walk by his booth, and he was doing these shots. I'm like, holy crap, right? I was watching him. He was making like this shot almost every time, like almost every single time. Like balls are frozen on the rail. He's just making the 8-ball, legally jumping. I was blown away. I'm like,
Try it.
I tried it, and I couldn't do it for nothing.
Let's give it a little space then.
Yeah.
Shout out to Marty for being able to make it tighter than that.
Say, I mean, when it's frozen, they were frozen on the rail, but
Let me try that thing.
it's really, when I was trying it at his booth, I couldn't do it. Like, I'm like, I'm not gonna buy one of those. So I went home, and then months later, I decided to buy one, and I bought the wrong one. There's two kinds. There's a 9 millimeter and like, I think a 14 millimeter. First try. It's a natural.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, when you get that down, I'm telling you, you can get closer and closer and closer. It's the impossible jump shot, you know. And you don't have to do it that hard. Take some speed off it. Just kind of pop it in.
Where's the chalk at? Let me try it. I don't want to try the blue chalk though.
I know. I saw your gray. I'm like, I can only use blue on my tips.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
Normally I give people a hard time about it, but you're fine. I can trust you know how to stroke a ball. Well, that's tough.
It'll take a little getting used to, but you know, once you do, I mean, they've saved.
Ooh, that's real close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pulled it out, like I said, 2 times in that tournament, and I made them both, and they were both just nasty jumps. And there's times at home when I practice that I can't do it in 20 tries. I tried to take a video one time, and it took me, I don't even know how many tries, but
Well, and
now,
watching it, trying to watch the.
just trying to make a video of a super close one.
Oh,
like
yeah,
my friend
yeah,
was taking it,
yeah.
like Jimmy, who was like, I'm doing it over and over, and I can't do it. And then I pulled it out, and I just did it the first try. So, but if you get fully used to it, like Marty Carrigan, he's unbelievable with these things. Like I said, that thing paid for itself right off the bat. Those.
Okay.
There we go.
Now, if you've only seen clips of the show, then you may or may not know of what Tor and I have coined as like called pulling a Van Boning.
Oh, yeah.
We noticed one time on on a YouTube video where it was like not an official pulling out the balls, and he like broke and ran out and walked by the one ball, and it was in the side pocket. He looked at it, and then he left it there, and then he threw everything else out. He like continued to throw everything else out, and so when the guy, whoever it was that he was playing, like went to rack the balls, like was throwing them all in, and then was like, and then had to walk all the way around the table to go find it. Oh man, that's a crazy shark move right there, you know. And so every once in a while, I feel like that happens.
Do that on
not
purpose.
Not that you did it on purpose, but
no.
Well, the conversation went to like, you think he did that on purpose, you know? And
right.
Tor was like, oh, absolutely.
Those guys, it's all about the mind games.
To be at that level, you have to assume so, right?
They can all sit there and break and run 6, 8, 10 racks occasionally. It's like, but if your mental game's not in the game, then
intact with that,
then you're in trouble.
Yeah. Well, what's your number one advice of staying shark-proof?
Yeah, just, I don't even know how to really describe that, but just not letting anything bother you and just having a better attitude, laughing stuff off. And I mean, it's really hard to say, really. I mean, it took me years. I mean, I used to get sharked real easy. Somebody could jiggle their change in their pocket or just a little quick movement, but so many years of playing bar pool just makes you toughen up. I mean, like, I used to make a living playing for like 15 years. I just went to tournaments 7 nights a week. There used to be so many tournaments in the Seattle area that I could play 30. There was 30 or 40 different tournaments a night, like all over, and that's all I did for a long time. And that certainly
8 ball,
helped.
9 ball, whatever was open for that night.
Yeah, you could play
drive
2, 3, 4 tournaments in a day, and they had break pots, 9 ball, 8 ball at break pots, and wasn't never been a
rolling
whole
around
lot
with your hands in other people's pockets for the most part.
Yeah,
you would stay in stroke.
There's never been a whole lot of action in the Seattle area unless you're a one pocket player, which I've never really been. I don't really love. I can't stand the slowness of that game.
Yeah.
There's big money games in Seattle, which I wish I would have liked the game because that's pretty much the only real action in the Seattle area.
Yes. Well, speaking of, I know that you had that you traveled quite a ways down from up north to get down here. So we'll take a second to say thanks for doing that.
Oh, no problem.
But I saw you put a shout on like trying to find some games, and then it kind of
the clubhouse.
If you read through the threads, it kind of like evolves down to like looking like a rematch of sorts between you and Lake. Did that ever go down?
Well, no, he said he wants to play. He lives in Canada. I didn't expect him to just show up, at the last minute, right? I mean, people got jobs, lives, and things to do, and I wasn't looking for anything major. I just figured my son lives a mile from the clubhouse, so after I went to his birthday dinner, I was gonna stop in there and see if I could get a little something going on.
Yeah.
But the only person was there was Marlon, and he was getting ready to leave, and so I didn't expect to get a game, really. I don't know. There's only a few guys in Seattle area that are pretty evenly matched for me to play, to be a fair game without me having to give up handicap. And
yeah.
But
so to be official on the record, you're like open for a 9-foot rematch to that.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe a race to 9. Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Let's throw it out there on.
Yeah. The bigger the money, the longer the race, right? If it's want to do big money, I'll gladly play Clay. Clay Lake.
Or Clay, for that matter.
Yeah, I was whooping at Clay a little bit because he pulled up his little Fargo match. If you're watching Clay, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
But he's got me by 5 or 6 games in the same tournament that it's like 40-33. I think he's ahead, something like that. But so I was woofing at him, right? Because he posted it online. I was like, uh-oh. He's like calling me out. So now I told him I'd give him a 5-game spot if he wanted to do something, which Clay's a great player. I'd have to play good to win
that's
that.
Heavy.
But, it's hard to get any action in Seattle. That's the only problem. But that's not very good.
Well, you guys were doing a lot of that over the matchup. I saw that a lot of it was sticking, or maybe once you warm up.
Yeah, Lake, like I said, just because I beat him in Lincoln City doesn't mean I'm the better player. I beat him that day. When you take 2 fairly even players, every day can be different,
Of course.
but I want to play. I'm trying to get better, so I'm trying to play whoever and do whatever I got to do to keep getting better. You pretty much got to be in action and grinding, to really improve your game.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be great to do it. Just find someone your speed or just a hair better, play for cheap, but just always be gambling. And that way you're always like trying your hardest and
putting the
doing
most
whatever you
thought
got to
and
do to win.
energy and intention into your shots. Yeah, that may be where I've been going wrong in my life. Not
someone told me
I'm
years-
afraid of action and that I've avoided it, but it's
Yeah.
just not been my go-to. I'm more of a casual.
All right. Someone told me years ago, like, a good player, like, as hard as it is to pretend like you're always playing for money. So if you pretend like there's always $100 on every game, now you're always playing at your best. And then when it comes time to be in a tournament or a money match, you don't have to turn it on, right? You're always just playing what you normally do. So in your head, you just another day on the table.
Right.
But it's hard to do when you're practicing. But I try to do that for the most part. I mean,
Yeah, of course. Almost got sharked by the toy box back there. That's for my 40-year-old.
Daddy Longlegs
there,
needs a little extra room.
A couple of people are talking about that jump cue still here, and they were. Bill Haynes was curious what millimeter it is.
It's the skinny one, the 9. I believe it's a 9 millimeter. Yeah.
So there's two. He was asking if it's 14 or 9. It sounds like.
Definitely
I
9.
bought the wrong one first, and I couldn't. I honestly, I don't know what I was doing, but I couldn't jump with it at all. And even Marty told me the 9 is the better for the really close jumps. So for sure, get the skinny one because I still have a 14. If anyone wants to buy a 14, let me know because I'll gladly sell it for cheaper than what I paid for it.
I'll play you for it.
There you go. Now you're talking.
Yeah, there's a massive difference between 14 millimeter and 9 millimeter.
Yeah, I believe that's 5 millimeters.
Hold on
Good
one
math,
sec. Let me
good
check
math.
that math. 14, 9.
I think it's
That is
correct.
correct. That is 5 millimeters.
Conversions, half a centimeter. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
No, but I don't know why he sells both. He just said that, I mean, those are for, it's just for like regular jump shots, which I'm using like a Predator Air 2, and that jumps incredible. I can jump pretty close, like 3 inches maybe with that thing, but anything less than that, I got to pull out the Marty Carey. But
So what you mean to say is that there are limitations to that jump cue.
the Predator Air,
Yeah.
yeah, but it does jump really good. I can't get right up and over. Like the Marty Carries, you can get up and down really fast.
Yeah.
Like
well, that's
some of the
important
other
too.
ones.
If you're not trying to skip off the rail.
Yeah.
If you're not trying to
You're worried about jumping off the table or
Right.
something,
avoiding or hitting a cluster the right way, that's kind of crucial to control.
Clay just said, "What's up?" Also.
What's
Here on the
up,
screen.
Clay?
Good.
We got a good friendly rivalry. Clay's a good guy. He don't play hardly ever. I mean, if he played all the time, I mean, during the summers he takes off and he plays golf and he's always going to the Wazoo football games and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
I mean, if he played as much as I did, he'd be scary.
His family does horse racing too.
Yeah, that's right.
I was right about to say that his name comes up quite a bit when people are always talking about who should come on the show and who's an interesting person and stuff. So like take a second to like formally invite Clay on the show if he ever wanted to come on and talk horse racing or pool or golf. We'd love to have you on, man.
Yeah, I hear he's quite the golfer too. That's one game I've never really got into. I always wanted to,
It
but
might be a big guy thing, because me too. I can
Yeah.
appreciate it, but
that's something I know you have to invest a lot of time and money into, and I don't like to do anything half-ass. If I'm gonna do something, I want to be good at it, and then I know
Yeah.
if I started playing it, I would want to play it all the time, and which would
Right.
take away from my pool time. And
We should host a tournament that is pool and golf. And
yeah, I was gonna say it needs to be a triathlon of sorts.
darts.
now darts is my game.
Horseshoes.
I
Now
can
we're
beat.
talking.
How's your basketball game? You get that a lot?
It's pretty strong. It was pretty strong. I mean, I still I can't jump after breaking my back. I can't jump a whole lot, but I can still shoot the lights out.
Now we're out of time, but I want to take an extra second and go a little longer in the open swim and go over like a little bit of recovery, like talking about the broken back. A lot of people don't know your story, but a horrible motorcycle accident, right?
Yeah, it was 3 years ago, June.
In June.
I was riding a wheelie about 50 plus miles an hour, and for some reason I just gave it too much gas. I've ridden thousands of wheelies, and I went over the back, and as I'm riding, so I land on my butt first, and I broke my tailbone, my sacrum, and my upper part of my back, compression fracture. Spent a month in a hospital, and at that time I hadn't played pool in over 5 years. Like, I haven't played not a single bar tournament, not a single big tournament. I just kind of got burnt out with pool, and it was when I spent 24 days in the hospital, and when I was laying there, when I couldn't do anything, all of a sudden I wanted to play pool again. So
Wow.
I told myself when I can walk, and I had to literally, in a couple months, learn how to walk again, and I just said, as soon as I can bend over the pool table. So within 6 months, I was in the gym, able to work out, starting to walk on a treadmill, and slowly starting to run. And then I was playing pool after 6, 7 months later, and just slowly getting into it. It took me quite a while. That was like early of, I guess, what is it? 2019, 2016, I guess. And 6, 7 months later, I was starting to play pool. It took me 6 months to really feel like I was back in stroke. I started going to Players. It was the first tournament I went to, and it took me a little while to build my game back up. But for the last 2 to 2.5 years, I've been playing all the time again, and feeling, my game is progressing like every couple months. I mean, my Fargo's going up. I'm winning more tournaments. All of 2018, I got in the top 5 or better in almost every tournament I played in.
Yeah.
Got into money. I got couple 9 through 12s or something, but I'd lost my first match, and I was able to win like 9 or 10 in a row in the 128-man fields. And it's like, but other than that, I mean, 2018 was a good year for me. And like, I didn't win anything, I don't think, but I got a couple in the final. But and then I finally, I did win the elite singles last year. So that was the first big tournament, since my injury of coming back. That was 10-ball.
Right.
And then, and now I did it 2 years in a row. So now my game's...
That's awesome, man. My recoveries, which is going to be like a theme of my business's launch in 2020. It's Clean Slate 2020. And it's all about like recovering from health, or recovering pool tables, or recovering from whatever circumstance, And
Yeah.
I've been pretty fortunate not to have like a whole lot of physical recovery necessary in my world. My circumstance always kind of lends to like emotional or financial or even like marital, dare I say, like the recovery of that kind of stuff. But
yeah, that's
dude,
a
it's
real
a long
thing.
haul, and it's a remarkable recovery that you've got, man. And I want to like shout from the top of the platform that I have, like, it's an inspiration, and happy
Thank
to
you,
see you
man.
pull in the #1, and like wishing you luck in the future.
Thank you.
That's it for us. This rack is for those guys. They're gonna flip a coin on it. It's gonna be the winner of last week's crew match, Princess and Birthday Girl.
I'm a queen.
Queen and Birthday
Yeah.
Girl.
Excuse him.
Yeah, Cassandra. I'm gonna flip for these guys, and she's gonna take on Eric the Clock Doctor.
You're gonna flip her?
I'm gonna flip. You guys want to bicker over who gets to flip?
I'm gonna call the crown. Because he's
You
not
want to
up
flip,
here
Eric?
Cassandra famously always calls
All right,
crown.
man. There you go.
VIP.
And then we hop off for a bit, take a break.
Okay.
yet. What is it?
VIP.
Is it?
Yeah.
It was the crown?
Yeah.
I get a break?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Crown was called, which means that Cassie's gonna be breaking. And while they're getting their cue equipment out here,
Mine's ready.
normally would be a moment we'd take a short break, but we're just gonna jump right into it this week.
I mean, how many times
I'm your co-host
actually beat me?
and producer Torbjorn. All this music that you guys are hearing live on the show, produced by me for the most part. You can hear more at www.beatsbytor.com. Cassandra breaks nice there. She's got a long look at the 1, but she doesn't have to worry too much about the shape, because that 2 is just right in that corner there. You'll notice as well, new set of balls here at Sharky Waters. Typically, you'll see us with the TV balls. Nice two-way with Cassie there. She thought she was going to carry him all the way back and get that 2 in. She just missed it, but she left herself tucked behind the 9 ball, leaving Eric a really tough opportunity here to get at the 1. Nice little double kiss on the 1 there. Puts it up against the rail. Not a whole lot of protection in the cue ball position. Nice. She throws it right down the rail. Combos the 2 in, leaves the 1 right there by the pocket. Not sure she's got the angle she wants. It looks like she's measuring out her kick here.
No.
DJ's not taking any requests currently.
Oh, man.
Opts to send the 1 all the way down. Just rolls a little wide. Eric's halfway across the table there, but he's got to look at it. Makes easy work out of the 1 ball in the corner pocket. Tucks himself right up on that 5 ball, but
Backspin on this shot.
four's on the other side of him, so he just needs to worry about his positioning here. Gets a little bump off the 8. The 4 ends up not quite being on target. And that 1 ball back down by the rail. And by 1 ball, I mean cue ball.
Oh, man. Yeah, exactly where you want me.
Where was it?
Jordan's the closest.
Shout out to Jordan on the Facebook chat room who found our hidden shark. Go ahead and send us a message, Jordan, DM or an email. You'll find our contact info on the site, and we'll get your information and mail you out a Sharky Waters sticker. Hooray.
You got it? Someone named Jordan.
Jordan.
Oh, Jordan. Sweet.
That pesky 4 ball didn't want to go in that corner, but it came off. Clipped the 8, just like it did for Eric a few shots back, and fell in the corner. Now she's looking at this 5.
Actually, the biggest thing is my hat.
Eric mentioning in the background his undeniable jealousy of Cassandra's headpiece.
Missed that. Should've played the same. I didn't want to play the English. I wanted to play it 'cause I'm from scratch. I'm safe.
safe? Might be safe now.
6 drops in the corner, and it looks like he's
Look at that perfect lane.
just
Exactly what I needed.
got eyes on the 7.
Oh, this would be really cool. If I bank it back between those two.
It's your shot, man. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. Then if I tell you what to do and then you don't do it,
I'll try that. You're likely to get a mess. Keep that 7 in the mess if I miss. Come on, baby.
stupid equals fed it to you twice. Deborah, stop. It's my birthday.
Oh man, if you don't run those 3 out, that's perfect. That's my birthday gift. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Too hard.
Oh god, this is terrifying.
One more.
Just misses the bank.
This is my downfall. This is my kryptonite right here.
Leaves Eric with what the entire pool community knows is his Achilles heel of shots.
It's not very helpful. Not from the cow, at least.
It's all riding on this shot. And he just ducks it. Can't help but wonder if the commentator's curse was in effect there. Did say it very loudly in the room. And Cassandra, on her birthday,
You dug it on purpose.
I hit it a little
takes the victory. Prize it from the clutches of the clock doctor.
The cow definitely was a factor.
Well, folks, we're going to take a short break. When we get back, we've got something very special for you, and that is the Sharky Waters Shark Attack. Dom versus James. It's going to be 9-ball, race to 7, with 2 very talented players. We'll be seeing who takes home the W this week. All that and more when we return on Sharky Waters, The Night Dive.
All right, guys. Cassandra is back in the commentary booth. Just to let you know, the Shark Attack is about to start. It looks like Dominic won the lag for the first break. It is a 9-ball race to 7. You must hit the lowest ball first. Any ball after good contact, must hit a cushion. And the 3-foul rule is in effect.
And hey, gals. I'm Eric the Clock Doctor here, going to be commentating with Cassandra. So we should have a good night. This is going to be a great matchup. Two very good pool players, and been watching them warm up. It's a lot of fun. Good guys. It's going to be a good match.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. James Davey is hot right now on the table.
Hot, hot, hot.
Dominic with the 7-ball and the bottom corner there after the break. Pretty typical.
Ooh, that would have been an excellent safe shot had it not barely caught the fin there on the side pocket. The cue ball would have gone all the way down to the other end. Left James here. Decent cut into the corner.
Great cut by James. Good shape on the 2.
Makes easy work of that 2-ball with a little stun shot and pulls it a little bit closer to the 3. Perfect line.
Great use of that outside English there to come off of the rail. Get a little bit more angle on the 4. He overcut that 4 a little bit, trying to make a recovery, leaving Dominic a shot. Nice shot on the 4-ball by Dom. He pulled back a little further than he had anticipated.
Nice cut to go 3 rails around after and have a good leave on that 6.
Great recovery shot. Great use of inside English there to hold the cue ball. He didn't come back as far as he wanted for the 8-ball.
Yeah, I think you wanted to go a couple more feet and get on the other side to come down that rail.
Absolutely. That inside English slowed that ball down.
Mm-hmm. Who opts for the crossbank to try and go to the opposite side there. Unfortunately, the cue ball drops in instead, giving James ball in hand with the 8 and 9 left.
Nice shot there to get a good angle on the 9-ball.
Cleans that up with no problem. Bringing the match. First game goes to James. Match is up 1-0. James.
in a funny spot.
Well, I had a better plan. I just overrolled the 5.
Yeah, if you get a little further out, then you can kill the 6 and then die it on the rail for a straight in.
They were just talking about that last shot where Dom didn't leave exactly where he wanted on the 8-ball, and talking if he had played it a little softer with some more English, they could have pulled it to that first side
My 7-footer and the 9-footer are both forward turns, so I don't have to think
of the 8-ball and drop it down into the other corner, going the other way down the rail.
Yeah, the extra angle that he had on that 6-ball made it tough to get the lead when he wanted on the 8.
Absolutely.
Huge break by James here.
Drops one in the top left pocket. I believe it is the
4-ball.
Thank you.
Great breakout with the 1-ball to come around 4 rails at the backside of the 3.
I'm not sure if he put that 3-ball in any better of a spot. It almost looks tougher.
Yeah. But the breakout was,
it was very
really
good.
well executed.
Yeah. Looking at that 3-ball there, and a little bit too tight to get that past the 8-ball, it looks like. So he's going to have to readjust for that. Instead, opts to do a 2-rail kick and make the
was,
2 into the intended side pocket.
That's embarrassing.
That is the best that you could hope for off of that miscue.
That was the best miscue I've ever seen, I think.
Ball, I mean, that's awfully rare. I don't know if I've ever done that.
Well, you have now, and you have video evidence.
Trick shot.
That's like trying to go for a swish and hitting the backboard and it just coming down and falling in.
Real one pocket shot.
Make that, you'll be back in good graces again.
He's daring me to shoot a bad shot.
It's like shooting it in the air and it bounces off the ground and then comes back up and goes in the hoop.
Talk me into it. Normally you would want to play safe.
Hits that 3-ball hard and wraps it all the way around the table. 4 rails to bring it back pretty close to where it was and right in front of that corner. No problem on that, and cue ball comes back out for a pretty beautiful leave on that 5. I don't know if he's too straight on or if he has a good angle to get over for the 6 or not, but
I don't think he came down quite far enough to just use some follow. I think he's going to have to put some spin on this ball to get down to the 6.
ooh, that was gorgeous. I didn't see that coming, and
But that was a great shot.
shot to perfection. Perfect ball speed.
Great 4 rails there. Dominic stop shots the 6-ball.
Has a great line on that 7 down the table. Only thing he has to watch out for is not pulling that cue ball too far back up into the rail, and it looks like he did that very well. Left himself enough of an angle to get the cue back to the 9.
Absolutely. Nice top spin there. Pull it to the rail and out for the 9-ball. Nice shot by Dom. That brings the score 1-1. Unfortunately, Dom scratched on that break, giving James ball in hand with the table. James opts to stun off of the 1 ball to drift down for the 2.
It was the first time I ever played a 10-ball tournament. How I won, I was asking I didn't know the rules of the game. I was literally just trying to figure it out as I go. But trying to break the 10-ball, man, it's not fun. You're not really playing 10-ball just for the break. I love the rules.
James used some left-hand English to pull it off of the rail, back for the 3 ball.
Super hard to get consistently good break.
Center ball hits that rail and comes back out for the 4, the opposite side.
Puts a little top on that off the rail and kicks out for a great leave on that 5 ball. Does the same thing again and brings it back out. A little bit of top for the 6.
Draws straight back for that 7 ball.
I think he was hoping for another 6 inches or so, but this is no problem here.
Yeah, he's going to pull it around a couple of rails.
It's way too hard.
He hits it a little firmer than he had intended. He narrowly hits that 8 ball a little bit thick and leaves it inside. Leaves it in the corner pocket for Tom.
Tom says, no problem, I'll take on that 8, and I will drift that cue ball up. He's hoping for a little bit further. But he's got a cut on this 9 ball.
He undercuts that 9 ball just a little bit, and that lets James back up to the table here.
No problem, James took care of that 9 ball. Duck sitting in the corner, giving James a second win of the night, bringing the match 2-1 in James's favor.
And the 2 ball are fired into the corners.
That was a big time break, a lot of action.
And 3 ball. Oh, 5 ball is still up. It was the 3 ball that went down. Great shot on the 1 ball. Good leave on the 4.
Great use of the right English there to stop that cue ball from going over to drifting over the rail, giving himself a nice straight shot on that 5.
Great use of draw there to come out against that rail for the 6. He stop shots the 6 ball for a good leave on the 7.
Lots of English there, but a nice soft shot. Makes the 7 in the corner and brings himself back to a pretty good leave on that 8. Steps up and drains it no problem and leaves himself damn well on that 9.
Great out by James. That will bring the score 3-1, James.
Yeah, you got a couple different ways to play that.
Seven and the 4 ball go down this time on the break.
Another huge power break. It's pretty fun to watch him break that. Cue ball comes up off the table about a foot and then lands right back in the middle.
Absolutely. That BK Rush breaks great. James tried a cross bank there on the 1 ball and narrowly misses it, leaving Dominic a shot.
Oh, this is well worth the money you've been spending for the people out there. I mean, man, I've never broke better in my entire life. And I've always had a strong break, but I'm consistently breaking well when I play 9-ball.
Yeah.
But I've never spent a lot of money on this stuff. One most of the time, I didn't like forking out $1,000 for something you want. So
Great shot on the 1 ball for shape on that too.
Yeah, I bought mine last month. First place.
nice. Yeah, spend that money on something good that'll better your game.
Oh, nice attempt on the 2 ball to bring it all the way down and get good shape on the 3. Fortunately, the 2 collided with the 3 and kind of knocked it out of that pocket. James played a safe off of that 2 ball. Drifted a little bit further than he had hoped, but still a tough shot with the 3 ball right there. Nice attempt on the 2 ball. He lands safe, but he left James an open shot. Nice use of draw there to hit the rail and come back out for the 3 ball.
Hits that with authority with a lot of backspin and pulls it all the way across the table, off the rail, into a great spot for the 5.
Great shot on the 5 to come back for the 6. Nice little stop there to drift over for the 6, or for the 8.
I've noticed James has very good speed control and English control when it comes to his backspin especially. And he just proved that about 4 times in a row.
Great out by James. That brings the score 4-1. James.
Just trying to kick it and then kick it with topspin a little so it would stop right on the rail. But
That's one
it's a
thing
lot
that,
more out of control.
I mean, all the years when I played 9-ball, a lot of times I just hit them, you know, when you're trying to hit and get lucky. But now that I've only been playing 10-ball for about a year, I've really been practicing lately on my kicking and what's going to happen exactly. Because you play 10-ball, you can't get lucky, right? So you got to know where to play safe from and all that, which it's been helping me. But I still got a long ways to go. But that's what separates like a really good player, like say even myself or all the good Seattle players.
The same camera.
Our abilities compared to the pros' abilities, and they're we can all run racks and stuff, but they're kicking, like knowing that the pro I watch what they do, it's just unbelievable. Like they're gonna go 3 rails, they're gonna hit the ball, and they're gonna know what side of the ball they're hitting it on, and playing safe. We're trying to make it. That's what separates those really good players from the awesome players, you know.
He drills that 3 ball into the pocket, and the 7 follows shortly after.
Great touch on that 1. Bring it out for good line on that 2. He's got the 4 after that to think about.
Great outside spin to hit the rail and come out for that good line on the 4. Nice shot on the 4. Comes back just an inch or so for the 5. Touch of follow on that 5 ball. Gets him on the 6. I'm thinking he wanted to follow it a little bit more, but he's pretty safe here. Oh, he overcuts that just a little bit. That brings Dom back up to the table. Overcutting that 6 just seems to be the trend here.
Sure does, doesn't it? This will be a tough shot to overcut, though, and he does not. He hits it straight in the pocket.
Absolutely. Looks like you got pretty straight on that 8 ball. A little bit of stun. Drifts the cue ball over a couple of inches.
Drills that 9 ball in for his 5th win of the night, bringing the match 5-1 in James's favor.
After missing that, I'm supposed to get punished when I miss.
Damien on that shot, he gave up a lot more errors, so he can capitalize on that either. It's tough when you're at like my level, you get a little of that. It's like letting go of the idea of like, oh, now's an opportunity. You know, just gotta let go of the pressure behind it.
Yeah, like
The rarity of it and just keep performing.
Like I've noticed lately too, I try to hit when I watch the pros. And last year, I mean, after going to 3 U.S. Opens, I study those guys. They don't slow roll balls that almost ever. Like even if they have, I mean, they could easily do it and make shape. But a lot of times they'll do it, and then they'll go that extra rail. A lot of times I try to like think in what they're gonna do, and they're gonna. A lot of times, yeah, it's a more powerful, just confident stroke, and if they have to go an extra rail or 2, no big deal. But it's just a more confident stroke, and they make, they do it almost all the time.
Wow.
First scratch from Dave tonight.
That cue ball hopped twice and landed in the side pocket.
Yes. Okay, the 3 ball did go into a pocket, so there is 1 ball down so far.
Tom puts that cue ball on the 1 with his ball in hand, pulls it back a little bit further. I think he was trying to get leave on that 2 ball in the side because it does not go into the corner past that 8 ball. It might, sliver thin if it does.
Nice shot into the side. Uses that rail well and comes out for the 4 ball in the corner. Good stop shot on the 4-ball there.
Great cut into the side there, bringing the cue ball 3 rails down to the other end.
Yeah, a little bit of left English there, narrowed out that angle.
Pull it
Brought
around
it-
that 7.
Yep.
Ooh, that was a great looking shot. Unfortunately, it got caught up by the fins and dribbled back out.
Nice power draw stroke there. A little bit further than he had anticipated, though.
She's just going to have to hit it a little bit with some left there and bring it off those 2 rails.
Absolutely.
Have a good line on that 8.
A little bit of follow there with some left-hand English. Gives them a great line on this 9.
No problem. Puts that 9 down for his 6th win of the night, bringing the match 6-1. So James, is on the hill, and Dom has got to put in some work here to continue this match.
Dom has some fight in him. I can feel it.
Absolutely. Dom loves to be an underdog.
Big leads and recovered from big leads. You learn to never count the chickens until you're shooting that very last 9 ball and it's a duck.
Slows down a little bit and hits that with a little bit less power. I think that last break throwing that cue ball into the side slowed him down, but still nice spread, and he's got a clean look on the one. Makes the 3 ball on the break.
Fortunately, he misses that 1 ball, giving Dom a good look at it. Dominic hits that ball with just a little bit too much power and skates it out of the pocket. James has a good look on it here. Hit the rail and come back out for the 2 ball.
Makes clean work of that one into the corner. He was hoping to pull it a little bit further out for a better line, but he's got a tight cut here on the 2.
Great use of some close to extreme right English to bring that ball around a couple of rails. Oh, and the 9 ball falls off of the pocket, into the pocket, off of the 2 rails from the 4 ball.
Drops
that is
in
match.
to end the match. That's quite a way to end the match, but he definitely earned that win. He played very well tonight and ran many, many balls. Yeah, we are going to now have our break pot hosted or sponsored by Clean Slate Billiards. Yes. For any of your pool table needs. Yeah, I'm going to pass it over to Tor and run up there and rack this break pot.
9 ball goes on a break. You can break and run, or just a break on
So the entire rules, and for everyone in the audience too to hear them all, of the break pot is you got to have a legal shot, 9-ball, single rack. You get the 9-ball in off of a carom or a combo, you're good to go. Luck counts. Eric's going to rack them up. No magic rack. No magic rack, my friend. And besides that, pretty standard break pot rules. James, if you can make them all in, you're going to be taking home 90% of what's in the treasure chest. So hope you play a good game.
No way.
Damn it. You got at least 2 in every time you broke.
Well, yeah, but it's not magic.
And unfortunately, it's a dry break, which means James will go home dry tonight. Dry from dollar bills that way. That is.
I still got a little bit in my pocket.
There you go, folks.
For all the people that were willing to gamble at home, I wasn't kidding. I wasn't kidding.
Fargo fair match?
What's that?
I said Fargo fair match?
Oh yeah,
Major
what
money
with
here
you?
in the
What
room.
was that like a
Like a 7-1.
7?
No,
No, that
it's
doesn't
not.
sound good.
It's like
Oh,
a
if we're gonna do a Fargo fair match, then I should play.
They all want a piece of me. I'm
Yeah,
scared.
yeah, well, there you have it, folks. Thanks for coming, James. Am
Thanks
I
for
on?
having me.
Okay, yeah, thanks. The recap on the drill, try that one, man. That one's a hard one, but it'll get you up to playing at that kind of speed if you keep it up with it. Thanks to everybody in the chat rooms and for doing the likes, the shares, the comments, the questions, all of that stuff. We really appreciate it. Again, shout out to Clay. Come on the show whenever you want.
Do it, Clay.
And then shout out to our co-sponsors, the Tipsy Tomato, where we usually do our after parties. We'll be there celebrating Cassandra's birthday. Happy birthday to her. 10,957, 913
Don't
days
add
old.
it.
902.
Yeah,
I don't even want to
days
do
old
mine
and,
now. I think I'm the
Doesn't
oldest.
look a day over
Now you have to minus, hold on,
17,000.
7.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Next week's guests are maybe the Clock Doctor, I think. We also have Matt Wells on the books, and we're off the next week. That's right, because tour is going to be on tour. And then the following week
Alex Lantonovich,
is in December.
December 1st, which is the week after Thanksgiving.
Okay, well, stay tuned on who will be next. And until then, perfect practice makes a perfect performance. And enjoy peace.